Good evening, Australia, and welcome to Channel 9 News. Tonight we have a special addition to our show. We'll be discussing the 2011 Qantas dispute between Qantas and its employees, in particular its pilots, ground staff, and engineers. This dispute affected nearly 70,000 Qantas customers, leaving passengers stranded worldwide. The 2011 Qantas industrial dispute were in fact a series of disputes between the Australian airline Qantas and three trade unions representing the employees: the Australian and International Pilots Association, APA, Transport Workers Union, TWU, and the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association, ALAEL. The dispute commenced in August 2010 when Qantas and unions began bargaining for new enterprise agreements. The bargaining became more heated when the airline announced its intentions to launch a new airline in Asia. On the 22nd of March 2011, Transport Workers Union have displayed 9,000 Qantas workers to go on strike for a 4% pay rise. However, Qantas will strictly not negotiate this new agreement until July. During the bargaining, engineers, pilots and ground staff carried out a number of protected industrial actions, culminating in the decision by Qantas on the 29th of October 2011 to lock out those employees, with the consequence that the entire Qantas mainline fleet would be grounded. After an application by Federal Minister for Workplace Relations, Fair Work Australia terminated the industrial action with effect from 2 a.m. on the 31st of October 2011. Later that month, Qantas then announced job cuts to employees as a resisting of rising fuel costs in the economy and natural disasters. This then sparked a new flame of continuous strikes, such as engineers working with only their least dominant hand, or warehouse workers threatening to walk off the job. As the employees, their perspectives of this situation is to try and improve the company, to increase the value and sales of Qantas as a company. This means that Qantas as a business feels like they need to cut jobs and reduce pay has to be done in order to enhance their business. However, as an employee of Qantas, they are only looking out for themselves and their position in the business. The unions support their members no matter what. This makes it easier for employees to strike whenever they feel necessary because they know that they have the support system to back them up. This is their reasoning behind all the strikes, that each individual union are part in against Qantas and their employees. The news article, The Qantas Dispute, What Next and Recap. This news article reads, after Qantas grounded its worldwide fleet on October the 29th, 2011, Fair Work Australia, FWA, convened a full bench of three members who listed to submissions from the parties. FWA then allowed the parties a 21-day dispute period where they had the opportunity to negotiate, and in that time of 21 days, they were obliged to discuss further actions and plans in a goodwill for the company. Qantas believed that FWA were not making good business decisions. However, it was decided by the FWA that they move on with their new jobs to try and rebuild trust, relationships within the workplace, and the reputation of Qantas. Qantas management has been told to get its aircraft back in the sky and drop its plans to lock out its workforce tonight, quoted Simon Lauder by the ABC News. This news article, Qantas to fly again after Fair Work terminates disputes. The empire of FWA put a stop to all disputes between the unions as it was seen to be significantly damaging tourism and airline industries. In turn, this would have a negative impact on the Australian economy. Not only did all these disputes affect the employers by not having a strong company and employees that are going on constant strike for pay rise, it doesn't just affect the employees who are having their jobs cut because of economical living standards and natural disasters. It affects all of Australia as it has now shown weakness and dropped the value of our country, and making it seem like not a great holiday retreat for tourism, when tourism within Australia is very dependent to keep our economy strong. The effects of the company Qantas has been significant as the dispute showed great amounts of unprofessionalism in between the unions, with the acts and disputes shown and advertised publicly in the national and international news. It shows that the customers are therefore second priority to the workers and the company. This will drive customers such as tourists and even regular Qantas flyers away from the company and towards other competitors, such as Virgin or Mobile Airlines. It also affects the relationships between employers and employees, such as now there is no trust between the separating parties or fellow employees in different unions. There has been a distinct division within the company, and they can overcome this partition by ALAEA, the TWU, and the AIPA, and along with the Qantas board, needing to negotiate the possibilities of perhaps looking at new marketing techniques to increase the number of sales and production flow within the business. Also trying to negotiate new deals such as certain benefits with the current employees, such as maybe members of the AIPA get paid double time on Saturday and Sundays. However, their overall hourly pay during the week may be decreased. That's all from me tonight. I'm Harry Barnes, and thank you.